And we're back with another episode of the only farming games guide that you need here on YouTube, and we have yet again another amazing guest joining us today. She's a lover of everything Hobbit, she hosts the coziest and most wholesome streams here on YouTube, she balances life out between her love for streaming and being a mom. She's pretty much a role model to all of us. Today's bubbly guest is none other than Let's Play Kay.
Hi friends, it is so nice to meet all of you here on Miss Bubbles channel. My name is Kay, also known as Let's Play Kay here on YouTube, and I'm a variety game streamer and content creator. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be teaming up with Miss Bubbles to share with you some games that I think everyone should know about if they're interested in farm sims with a little magical twist. If you don't know, I have a little bit of an unrealistic obsession with anything magic, so these games that we're going to be sharing with you today are some of our favorites. I'm so excited to get started.
Hello you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. We have 10 magical farming games, 5 are gonna be in this video, and you can find the other 5 on Kay's channel. And we're showing games that are beginner friendly, intermediate, and advanced, so let's start with Kay's pick first.
So let's talk about Palia, which is one of my personal favorites when it comes to this genre. Palia is what we refer to as a cozy MMO. MMO just stands for a massive multiplayer online game, and although that could be a little deterring for some people, this type of MMO is actually meant to be played either on your own or with friends. It is totally up to you. Now, starting out in the game, you are a human that just magically kind of appear in the world of Palia around the people of Palia who are referred to as the Missbubbleshere. The gist of the game is basically all of the things that we love in our traditional farm sims, which is crafting, cooking, fishing, and farming. There's also decorating, which is so well done in Palia. In addition to those features, there's questing and exploring. The magical / fantasy elements that you'll find in this game is not only just in the storyline, but you'll also see it in the different things that you can do with your character around the world. You'll see elements of magic when you're out gathering resources, even in the way that you may dress your character. And without spoiling the storyline, there are some magical and fantasy elements that you're trying to uncover in the game as well. So Palia is one that I would absolutely recommend to everyone. It is also completely free to play, which makes it even better, and it's an excellent game. It's receiving updates on a regular basis as well, so there's always something new to do. Now, I would give this one a rating of intermediate, only because starting out in Palia, it is really kind of an experience that is slow guiding. So if you need a little bit more direction, it may take you a little bit longer to get used to kind of the core gameplay loop and things like that. So I would rate it intermediate, but I do think it's something that you can adjust to fairly quickly, and I think ultimately anybody could play with a little bit of time in the game.
Now, I started playing Palia recently, and I have to say I had a really fun experience, but there is a reason for that. And funny enough, I had a stream here with Kay where we both played together, and I think she is the reason why she made the game really fun for me. However, I felt like this game is more catered to be played with friends rather than playing it alone, so considering I usually like gaming on my own, I don't know how much more I'll be playing it solo. But I'm curious to know if any of our bubbly community members do enjoy Palia, and I do wonder if you play alone or with your friends, so let me know in the comment section. Moving to my pick, and this one is pretty underrated, and I don't know why. Yonder the Cloudcatcher Chronicles is one of the most magical farming games I have ever played. The visuals are very cute, but they're also not afraid of being a bit more dark and gloomy when need be. This is an open world adventure farming sim set in the world of Gamea, an island paradise with 8 different areas, and each have their own unique environments that you will be so eager to discover. And your goal is to seek out hidden creatures around the island known as sprites, and you can use their power to get rid of the murk that are ruining the island and blocking off areas, which makes it impossible for you to visit them. What I love the most about this one is that you play at your own pace, and you're gonna enjoy the scenery while you're at it. You can customize your character, and there's a bit of fantasy life in here, in the sense that there are a few professions that you can master, like a chef and a tailor and a carpenter, and you can also befriend both creatures and other people living in the world, and you can go fishing and crafting and farming and do quests and more. The world also overall is very mesmerizing, so you're gonna see the seasons change, and that makes the animals migrate, for example, and the weather overall will impact the game. This is again such an underrated experience that I wish more people will get to play. Yes, I know the open world can be a little bit intimidating, so that's why I would say this is more for intermediate gamers. But I think if you're okay with using some wikis, you could definitely start as a beginner and still enjoy your time in Yonder. Now let's head back to Kay.
This next one is one that I'm pretty much known for when it comes to my community and on my channel, and this game is called Disney Dreamlight Valley. So in Disney Dreamlight Valley, you explore a world filled with magic, which is probably one of the main reasons why I fell so in love with this game. You discover rich stories and build the perfect neighborhood along Disney Pixar heroes and villains. So in this game, you have questing, crafting, and decorating. Now, in addition to the questing and the adventure side of the game, you do have your traditional farm sim elements, which include farming, fishing, crafting, mining, gathering resources, and all of that kind of stuff. And this one has just been a staple on my channel. I have to say there's something really nostalgic about bringing some of your favorite Disney characters to a valley where you can make them feel at home through questing, and then also place their home down and decorate around it and just kind of hang out in this valley full of your favorite Disney characters. It's very, very nostalgic, and everything that you do in the game is wrapped around some element of magic. Most recently in their update, they did bring flying as you equipped wings in the game. So if you wear these wings, you can now glide and fly around the valley, and it's like a dream come true for someone like me. I can live out my fairy tale dreams with these new features that they're bringing to the game. Another positive about Disney Dreamlight Valley is I would say it is very much so beginner friendly. The game guides you pretty well to tell you exactly what you need to be doing and when. So jumping into this one should be easy for anybody who has not played it before. Now, I do have to mention on good conscience that DDV as of late has been a little buggy. This is something that they mentioned they are going to be working on and trying to improve in the future, and I'm really hoping that that's something that they can do, because again, Disney Dreamlight Valley holds a very special place in my heart, and I really hope the future is bright for this game.
So Disney Dreamlight Valley is a game that got me hooked recently. We streamed it together when it first released thanks to Gameloft, and I had a really good time, but then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let it sit and wait for more content. And when I started gaming, I just felt like a kid playing this game and seeing all of these Disney characters and how whimsical they are. And I love how they incorporate magic, not just through the gameplay mechanics, but also with how it makes you heal when you're playing the game. I like that there is a general story to follow, and then you have your villager quests, and then you're always having new updates that are coming around all the time. There's just a sheer amount of content to do here, which is really fun. The quests do feel very fetch heavy, but to be honest, for the first time ever, I did not find myself complaining about it. I just loved my experience. And my next pick is gonna go to Kinseed. This is the perfect magical game, but also it is advanced, so I cannot recommend it to anyone who's a beginner. This is one of the most creative farming games I've ever played, and anything can happen here. Basically, your character can die, and so can everyone else in the village. And what I love about this is the fact that there is a generational aspect to it, unlike many other farming games where things are just gonna be linear and nothing is changing and you keep seeing the same people over and over again. Gameplay-wise, you start your own family and you have a list of jobs that you can take on, each with their own mini-games to complete that will add to your immersion. Do you want to be a blacksmith? You can. If you want to run a shop, then you can. And if you just want to open a tavern, you can do that as well. Perhaps you just want to be a farmer, then you can prioritize that. And the game adds in RPG elements. It does come from the developers of Fable, which, you know, their games are really good. I haven't played them, but I've heard really good things about them. And what that means is that you're gonna see yourself progressing through your skill. And you also have to keep in mind that there is combat here, but also every decision that you make is gonna impact your legacy. However, all of these possibilities mean that the game is gonna be just very difficult to digest if you're a beginner. And even if you are extremely familiar with difficult farming games, you're still gonna find yourself wanting to use the guide here and there. Or at least myself and everyone else that I know did need a guide at one point or another. The learning curve is definitely worth learning. It's really fun. I also streamed it on the channel. We played like the first 5 hours of it and we were all shooketh by what happened. I'm gonna leave it for you if you want to check it out, but if you haven't played it, definitely try it. So Kay's next choice is one of my favorite farming games. I always try to talk about it anytime that I get the chance to, and funny enough, I only tried it after a year of its release, and since then it kept getting more and more updates. The devs are amazing, and I want to know if you've played it. But Kay, tell us about your pick.
We'll be talking about Wildflowers, and oh my goodness, Wildflowers is such an amazing game. Wildflowers has to be the ultimate farm sim game with elements of magic and fantasy. If you haven't heard of this one, we follow alongside Tara, who is on a journey to become a witch. She actually doesn't even know she's a witch until she pulls up to her grandmother's farm. The best way to describe this game is farm by day and cast spells by night. It is everything that I could ever want in a video game, truly. So farming in this game is a great way not only to make money, but also you use some of those resources in spells and crafting potions. In addition to farming in this game, there are other things like gathering and crafting being one of the biggest aspects of this game. You go from brewing potions to making clothing to cooking food and making candles. I mean, there is so much to craft and make in the game. It's amazing. You also have the opportunity to raise farm animals and explore the world of Fairhaven. In addition to adjusting to your witch life, you're also going to find yourself unraveling a local mystery. And on top of all of that, there is also romance. Not to mention, this game is completely voice acted, and I must say it is done extremely well. The storyline is detailed, there's never a boring day in this game, and I just highly recommend it to anybody who has not checked it out. I would definitely rate Wildflowers as beginner. Again, this is another game that really guides you on everything that you need to be doing. The tutorials of the game are very well thought out, and it's really easy to kind of adjust to the gameplay loop in this one. So I highly recommend Wildflowers if you're looking for a story-driven narrative farm sim that ropes in these magical witchy elements. It is absolutely one of my favorites. I just want to give a big thank you to Miss Bubbles and the community here for having me on to share some of these games. Again, these are some of my favorite farm sim fantasy genres, and I really hope that you guys have enjoyed the list that we've curated for you. Thanks again for having me, and happy gaming!
Let us know your favorite magical farming games down in the comment section, and don't forget the other 5 picks are gonna be found over on Kay's channel, and you can find me there as well. Thank you to my YouTube and Patreon bubblies who make videos like this possible. Thank you for watching, and a shout out goes to the games I mentioned, Jake, Logan, and Stephanie for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.